this is a good angle. Good evening, football fans. Big Al here on this Tuesday, September 16th, 2025, and welcome to the Week 4 college football television schedule and the announcers for all the games coming up this weekend. With that, like, comment, and subscribe to my channel, ring the bell, and get notified every time I go live. And here we go with the Week 4 college football television schedule. One game on Thursday night and two on Friday before we get to Saturday. All right, so Thursday night at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, 4:30 p.m. Pacific on ESPN, you have Rice at Charlotte with Matt Berry and Tom Luginbill. Hey, sup there, Cajun, how you doing? Then you'll have two games on Friday, starting at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific on ESPN, with Tulsa at Oklahoma State with Anish Sharaff and Andre Ware. Then on Fox at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, it's Iowa at Rutgers with Connor Onion and Mark Helfrich. Now we've come to Saturday. Oops. There we go. Okay. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 games starting at 12 noon Eastern at 9 a.m. Pacific. ABC has Arkansas at Memphis with Joe Tessitore and Jesse Palmer. On Fox's Big Noon Saturday, it's number 17 Texas Tech at number 16 Utah with Gus Johnson and Joel Klatt. On NBC, it's Maryland at Wisconsin with Paul Burmeister and Yogi Roth. On ESPN, it's Syracuse at Clemson with Bob Wischusen and Louis Riddick. ESPN2 has SMU at TCU. Little Metroplex battle going on there with Roy Philpott and Sam Acho. On ESPNU, it's UNLV at Miami of Ohio with Matt Schumacher and Dustin Fox. On the ACC network, you have Bowling Green at Louisville with Chris Carter and Max Brown. On ACC Network Extra and ESPN Plus at 12 noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific is Wofford at Virginia Tech, Doug Sherman and Forrest Connolly. Then, on CBS Sports Network, you have North Texas at Army with Dave Ryan and Adam Brenneman. And streaming exclusively on ESPN Plus at 12 noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific is South Carolina State at USF with Chucky Kemp and Darius Walker. At 12:45 p.m. Eastern, 9:45 a.m. Pacific on the SEC Network, it's UAB at number 15 Tennessee with Taylor Zarzour and Matt Stinchcomb. Streaming on ESPN Plus at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific is Wagner at Central Michigan, and there is no broadcast team announced for that game. At 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 noon Pacific on BTN, Oregon State at number 6 Oregon in the Civil War with Jeff Levering and Jake Butt. Then into the late afternoon portion of the schedule, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 games starting at 3:30 p.m. Eastern, 12:30 p.m. Pacific. ABC has number 22 Auburn at number 11 Oklahoma with Sean McDonough and Greg McElroy. On the Home Depot Big Ten on CBS, it's number 21 Michigan at Nebraska with Brad Nessler and Gary Danielson. On Fox, it's North Carolina at UCF, Eric Collins and Spencer Tillman. On NBC, you have Purdue at number 24 Notre Dame with Dan Hicks and Jason Garrett. ESPN has Tulane at Ole Miss with Mark Jones and Roddy Jones. ESPNU has James Madison at Liberty, Courtney Lyle and Renee Igogila. On the ACC network, it's Kent State at number 7 Florida State with George Sedano and Rodney McLeod. On CBS Sports Network, it's Ball State at Connecticut with Fran Charles and Taylor McHargway. The remaining 4 games are streaming on ESPN Plus at 3:30 p.m. Eastern, 12:30 p.m. Pacific, including Gardner-Webb at Ohio with Kelsey Casper and Ryan Kavanaugh, Louisiana at Eastern Michigan with Jason Ross Jr. and Teoka Jackson, Toledo at Western Michigan with Ted Emmerich and Marcus Ray, and Troy at Buffalo with Michael Reggie and Gerard Cherry. At 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific on ESPN2 is NC State at Duke with Mike Monaco and Kirk Morrison. At 4:15 p.m. Eastern, 1:15 p.m. Pacific on the SEC Network is Northern Illinois at Mississippi State, Dave Neal and Fozzie Whitaker. At 4:30 p.m. Eastern, 1:30 p.m. Pacific on the CW is Temple at number 16 Georgia Tech with Tom Brenneman and Will Blackman. At 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific on NBC Sports Bay Area and Mountain West Conference Digital is Idaho at San Jose State, and there is no broadcast team announced for that game. Then at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific on FS1 is West Virginia at Kansas with Noah Reid and Robert Smith. The next 3 games are on ESPN Plus at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific. Arkansas State at Kennesaw State and Delaware at Florida International have no broadcast teams announced for those games. Also on ESPN Plus is Duquesne at Akron with Anthony Lima and Craig Halbert. To the evening portion of the schedule, you have 8 games starting at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. On ESPN, it's South Carolina at number 23 Missouri, Dave Pasch and Dusty Dvorak. On CBS Sports Network, it's Boise State at Air Force with Jason Knapp and Robert Turbin. The remaining games are all streaming on ESPN Plus, including Coastal Carolina at South Alabama, Maine at Georgia Southern, Marshall at Middle Tennessee State, Murray State at Jacksonville State, Nevada at Western Kentucky, and UT Martin at Missouri State. There are no broadcast teams announced for those 6 games. And they'll have 8 more games at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, 4:30 p.m. Pacific. On ABC's Saturday Night Football, it's Florida at number 4 Miami with Chris Fowler and Kirk Herbstreit. CBS has Washington at Washington State in the Apple Cup with Rich Waltz and Logan Ryan. On Fox, it's Arizona State at Baylor, Tim Brando and Devin Gardner. On Big Ten Saturday night on NBC, it's number 9 Illinois at number 20 Indiana, or rather number 19 Indiana. Sorry about that. With Noah Eagle and Todd Blackledge. On ESPN2, you have BYU at East Carolina, Loa Galindo and Aaron Murray. On ESPNU, it's Georgia State at number 20 Vanderbilt with Jay Alter and Rocky Boyban. On the ACC network, it's Stanford at Virginia, Wes Durham and Steve Addazio. And streaming exclusively on ESPN Plus is Southern Miss at Louisiana Tech, and there is no broadcast team announced for that game. At 7:45 p.m. Eastern, 4:45 p.m. Pacific on SEC Network, it's Southeastern Louisiana at number 3 LSU, Tom Hart, Jordan Rogers, and Cole Kubelic. At 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific on SEC Network Plus and ESPN Plus, you have Sam Houston at number 8 Texas, Clay Matvick and Chase Daniel. Also at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific on KMYU in Salt Lake City, Utah, and Mountain West Conference Digital is McNeese State at Utah State. There is no broadcast team announced for that game. Also at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, streaming exclusively on ESPN Plus, is Nicholls State at Texas State, and there is no broadcast team announced for this game either. Same with Louisiana Monroe at UTEP at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific on ESPN Plus. There is no broadcast team announced for this one as well. On FS1 at 9:30 p.m. Eastern, 6:30 p.m. Pacific is UTSA at Colorado State with Dan Hellie and Petros Papadakis. At 10:15 p.m. Eastern, 7:15 p.m. Pacific on ESPN, Wyoming at Colorado, Dave Fleming and Brock Osweiler. At 10:30 p.m. Eastern, 7:30 p.m. Pacific on CBS Sports Network, it's California at San Diego State with Alex Del Barrio and Randy Cross. At 11 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Pacific on Fox is Michigan State at number 25 USC with Jason Benetti and Robert Griffin III. The final game of the night is at 11:59 p.m. Eastern, 8:59 p.m. Pacific on Spectrum Hawaii and Mountain West Conference Digital, Fresno State at Hawaii. And there is no broadcast team announced for that game. And that is a look at the Week 4 college football television schedule and the announcers for each game. We'll be back with the Week 5 schedule next week. My next video coming up will be my Week 3 NFL picks, both straight up and against the spread. That's going to drop on Thursday, so be on the lookout for that. In the meantime, like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Ring the bell and get notified every time I go live. Big Al signing off. Thanks for watching and enjoy the pigskin. Peace out.